All right, welcome back to Black Cat Crypto Club. My name is Drake. Today we've got a video on some things that are going on in Bitcoin right now. There's some people calling for Bitcoin's cycle top now or very soon in the future. So we're going to get into all of that. But before we jump over there, we are going to go to ezsrescueranch. Now, these are a small sanctuary, guys. If you can afford a couple bucks, go over to their PayPal at the bottom of this flyer and help out those animals. These guys are animals that have been abused and abandoned. So anything you can do for these guys, I mean, it's important to me, but it also brings some positivity into your life as well as reduces your tax liability. So if that's something you're looking to do, and if you're in crypto, guys, taxes are going to be a thing. So go over there, show them some love, and I will leave all of the PayPal and their description, or their website and Facebook and everything in the description of the video. So head over there, throw them a buck or two. Now, let's go over to the charts. We've got, since yesterday, we've come down and corrected a bit here, guys. And this has been, we've gone from about 74,000 down to this very bottom little wick, right about 65,600. And that's about 10 or 11 percent, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, we're looking 10.76 approximately. So this isn't a big thing, in my opinion. If you've watched my previous videos, you know that during these bull markets, we're constantly going up, but we have these 30 to sometimes 40% corrections, all while going up. You just kind of got to know what's happening, have a plan, and be able to, control your emotions during these times, because it will get to you. But this isn't a big thing, in my opinion. If you look back, we came up here, we corrected and kind of traded sideways here, came up here, hit this all-time high. There were actually a few reasons for this correction right here. This was hard and fast. And one reason was we hit that all-time high area, got rejected off of it, which is pretty natural for markets to do. But we also had Coinbase, the Coinbase debacle, one of the Coinbase debacles. Coinbase during this whole week went down 3 times. And so this was, I believe, the first time it went down. And people got onto Coinbase, saw $0 balance in their Coinbase and freaked out, rightly so. And so, yeah, that was another reason for this really quick down, and we went right back up and got right back onto things. But you can kind of see this one, there's been a few things that have been going on in the last day that have caused this downturn that we're seeing now. One is PPI. So PPI is another inflation measure, just like CPI. We saw CPI come out on Tuesday. We had PPI come out yesterday. And PPI came out hotter than expected. So inflation came out higher than what everybody else was thinking. And the reason this matters for all markets really is that this PPI and CPI are kind of the metrics that the Federal Reserve looks to when they're deciding whether or not to cut interest rates. And we have an FOMC meeting coming up next week on Wednesday, so we'll be watching that. The wording when Jerome Powell makes his statement will be interesting to watch and just see how the market digests what he says. But everybody was really kind of not expecting rate cuts this month anyway. We were really looking towards May. And the reason this is important for markets is that if the Fed cuts rates in May, it's effectively like the cost of money. So right now, money is fairly expensive. We're at a 5.5% interest rate. If they cut that, money becomes cheaper. People can take out loans easier. There's just generally more money to go around, and people can do things like invest in Bitcoin or invest in the stock market, or, you know, things are just easier, and markets usually go up when interest rates come down. So it'll be interesting to see next week what Jerome Powell says, what their thinking is for May. I personally still think an interest rate is in the cards for May based on several things, but we'll see. Now, the other thing we are going to get into is this happened yesterday. Bitcoin falls below 69,000 as Grayscale moves over 400 million in Bitcoin to Coinbase. So the reason this matters is Grayscale is the biggest ETF. The reason they're the biggest is because they already had this multi-billion dollar trust that was converted into an ETF. So they came onto the ETF with billions of dollars already under management. And what they did was they kept their rates so high while all these new ETFs were competing against each other. They kind of got into a bidding war and bid down their fees that are charged for these ETFs every year for their customers. They bid down these fees to almost nothing, like 0.2% or something. And a lot of them went to 0% for the first 6 months, or the first so many billions dollars under management. So it really helped out, that bidding war helped out people that were buying these ETFs, but Grayscale remained at like 2% or 1.5%, magnitudes above all these other ETFs. So we've seen Grayscale being a big selling pressure on Bitcoin since they've converted to an ETF. Now, this 400 million, in my opinion, this isn't really a big thing. It sounds like a big number, but we see these other ETFs. We see BlackRock and Fidelity and all these other ETFs doing much, much more than that every day. So this isn't a big thing, but people see it. People see $400 million moving onto an exchange, and they freak out thinking people are selling. And yeah. So I wouldn't take this too seriously, guys. The other thing is that I told you guys about. I saw this morning, and it kind of made me laugh and just kind of shake my head because it's just off. So Bitcoin's cycle top is near, but a 20% correction is necessary, says analysts. So let's get into this. CryptoCon, a popular technical analyst, highlights the potential for a Bitcoin cycle top. citing indicators such as the directional movement index. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. I know a lot of analysts. I follow quite a few analysts, and there are many of these analysts that all they do is look at the charts. That's it. They don't take into account any news, any macroeconomics, nothing. It's just purely charts. And for the most part, that works really well, because what the charts really kind of measure is like this this social psychology of the market, of everybody participating in this market. So they can look and they can see how psychology really works, and the cycles of people's thoughts, and really pretty accurately kind of tell where things are going. The thing with Bitcoin right now is that we've kind of gone through a whole paradigm shift with Bitcoin's market. We used to be just this kind of side thing, kind of fringe market. And with these ETFs, we have effectively gone mainstream to this mainstream Wall Street market and have opened up all of that to investors on Wall Street. So effectively now we have two markets. We have this off-exchange, off-Wall Street market that we've always had. And now we have Wall Street as another market that Bitcoin is on. Now, it's kind of like Matt Hogan said in one of the videos that I shared with you guys in one of my previous videos. He said, Bitcoin is now in its IPO moment. It's in this initial public offering moment on Wall Street. And when that happens traditionally with stocks and things, the stock kind of goes into this price discovery era. And nobody really knows what the value of this stock should be. Now, with companies and certain stocks, you can look to things like earnings reports, and you can kind of gauge where that stock should be valued. But with Bitcoin and with gold and currencies and commodities like Bitcoin, you really can't, there's no earnings report. So you can't look towards that to know where this thing should be valued. So right now we really are in that price discovery where Wall Street's trying to figure this thing out and how to value it. And as they do, it's growing in adoption. So at this point, this adoption is just going up and up and up with this new market now having access to this thing. So when this CryptoCon analyst comes on and he's just looking at indicators like the DMI or the RSI, the relative strength index, or if they're looking at the fear and greed index even, those indicators are taking into account Bitcoin's history. Those indicators don't know that there's an entire new market that has just opened up for Bitcoin. So all those indicators are telling you is what Bitcoin should be doing with one market. It's like if you had two apples and you said, oh yeah, this apple can do this. You know, this is all this apple can ever be. Well, now we have two apples. And if you're just looking at that one apple, your perspective is way off. So these indicators really, I mean, they're going to be pegged and showing that Bitcoin is oversold and is in extreme greed mode. And these indicators are going to be indicating that we should have corrections that we're just not going to have, because they're focusing on half of the whole picture. So yeah, guys, this is so short-sighted. But this goes even further. This analyst suggests that the cycle top could occur in 2 weeks or 3 months, around April and June this year. And I can't even believe that people are coming out with this stuff. You're either living under a rock or you're trying to get attention. The Bitcoin halving is coming in April. So any analyst should know this. And what the halving does is it takes our supply and it cuts it in half. So instead of having 900 Bitcoin coming into the market, being mined into the market every day, we're going to 450 every day after March 20th or so. So somebody saying that we're at a cycle top before we're about to have this supply crunch, this supply shock, all while having this demand shock from Wall Street is insane. It's it's not going to happen. I mean, as sure as I am that the sky is blue, this is not likely to happen, guys. So let's go back over here. Here's another thing that I saw. This was posted yesterday. This is a tweet from HODL 15 Capital. So this is Bitcoin distribution and the size of the wallets that are buying or selling. So we've got wallets that contain 0 to 1 Bitcoin have been selling to, yesterday, the last 30 days, and the last 60 days. Bitcoin wallets with 1 to 10 Bitcoin have been selling. Bitcoin wallets with 10 to 100 Bitcoin have been selling. The people that are buying are the big boys, the big guys, the 100+ Bitcoin wallets. Those are the ones that are accumulating Bitcoin. And this is kind of depressing to me, because this is the first time, guys, that the little guys, have had a chance to really front run the big money. And we're selling out. We're being shaken out of this opportunity, and we're just allowing these guys to take our Bitcoin for cheap. This is cheap, guys. You look at 70,000 and a lot of people go, whoa, that's expensive. Guys, Bitcoin at 70,000 is cheap right now. I don't know. This kind of depresses me, because I want to see those little guys, the underdogs, finally get a hand up on big money. And we all know that big money doesn't play fair, right? Like, that's all but a fact. And so we're going to see big money do everything they can. News-wise, they're going to try and spread as much fear and doubt as they can. So your emotions kick in and you think, oh no, I better sell my Bitcoin. They're going to grab you by the ankles and shake that Bitcoin out of you. If you're not strong, if you don't have a plan, and you just let your emotions get the best of you, guys, you're going to miss this. And it is going to be big. I don't know what else to tell you. If you're feeling emotional, you really need to have that plan. You know, whether it's I'm going to hold Bitcoin for 4 years, or, you know, we've talked about these things in my previous videos, where 4-year plan is never a losing bet with Bitcoin. We've never seen prices dip below what they were 4 years ago. In fact, when they get the closest, they're like 3 times the size of what they were 4 years ago. And that's at their worst. So that's a good plan. You know, there's several great plans that'll help you manage your emotions and keep you from being shaken out by these big guys. You know, another good plan is dollar cost averaging in. So every week or every 2 weeks, you buy a little bit of Bitcoin. And what that does for your emotions wise is if we have these 10% drops or 30% drops, you're constantly investing in. So it looks good to you in a way. Yes, it hurts the portfolio that you already have bought, but you know that you're going to be able to buy that dip if you're dollar costing in. So that's a good way to manage your emotions. Another good way, guys, is like I've shown you before, if you're ever, you know, in doubt daily, you're just seeing this and feeling this daily crunch, zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. And just know where we're going. You've got to know things like the halving. This supply shock is coming next month. You know, knowing things that I am talking about in these videos is going to help you manage your emotions, keep cool, and keep your Bitcoin and make money. So I don't know, guys. Like, subscribe, and share. If you don't want to miss my videos, make sure you hit that bell notification. I am going to be trying to do another video today. I've had a few of you ask about ETFs and rolling retirement accounts into ETFs and things like that, what ETFs are charging, what the percentages are, what ETF is best. So I'm going to really dive into that for you guys, kind of get you why the ETF might be a good idea, why self-custody would be a good idea, you know, weighing your options as far as the ETF goes. So if you want to see that video, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification. And until then, keep your cool, keep your Bitcoin, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.